Welcome back. You are tuned in to IBL, inspired by Onika, speaking on life and inspiring people. Hey everyone, welcome. So this is episode 38 and the title is Bonus Bulletins. So this episode will be a little bit different because normally I will focus on one topic or subject for the entire episode, but for today I'm going to touch on a few things, just give you a little bit. So if it's something you find interesting, then you can research it at a later time and let me know what you think. So the topics or the areas I have are bulletins on money, community, young adults, and also women's sports. So let's see, we'll start with community for today. So your bonus bulletin on community is, we recently had that government shutdown, which ended on November 12th. So the R&B artist SZA, she partnered with her nonprofit in a restaurant in LA, and that restaurant is called John and Vinny's, and they provided free meals for people who were affected by the government shutdown because there were benefits that were disrupted and stopped while this was all going on. So for the week of November 11th to the 17th, they provided free meals to the community there in LA. And I know that there were other people affected by this. There were also federal workers. Some workers, they were having to work for free without being paid. And then there were some people being furloughed. So it affected a lot of people. And, I know this happened in November, but I still think that it's noteworthy to mention. Okay, so I'm giving SZA a shout out, also the restaurant John and Vinny's, and I know there are some others who contributed as well to help the community during that time. And also, I just wanted to mention it too because sometimes music artists, they are looked at as, they're human, okay? And some people think that they don't give back to their community, that they don't do things for the community, but this is just highlighting just, SZA and some other people, everyone that helped out during this time of this government shutdown, which I'm so glad that it's over. So shout out for that community contribution. So next, we're going to roll over to your bonus bulletin on money. All right, so bye-bye brownies. Bye-bye brownies. When I say brownies, I'm not talking about the things you put in the oven. I'm talking about those pennies. You know, the ones you got stashed around the house, in your car, in your basement. Say bye to those, okay? And I say that because they are no longer being printed, no longer being made. Okay, now you can still spend the pennies, yes, but apparently they cost more to make than they're actually worth. So they're no longer being made. So I think a good thing to do at this point is cash those in as soon as you can. Do it sooner rather than later. Now they're still legal, you can still spend them, but there are a few places that are no longer taking pennies at all, and I'm sure there are going to be other places that's going to follow suit with that. So if you got those pennies in that water cooler and it's just full to the top, wherever you have those pennies stashed, roll them up, put them in your bank account, or if you don't have a bank account, take them to a Coinstar or any machine. You could just pour them in. It'll count it up for you. Now, the only thing with that is they will charge you a fee to use those machines. But I just say just cash them in any way you can because at some point I can see that they're going to be worthless and you're just going to be stuck with them. And so what they're going to do is if you are paying cash for something, they're just going to round up the amount to the nearest nickel. So bye-bye brownies no longer being made. So that's your bulletin on money. So let's move over to, let's talk about your bonus bulletin on young adults. So I'm sure that most of you have heard about the quarter zip movement. So the quarter zip sweaters are something that young men, young black men are starting to wear, and basically they're ditching the track suits, the sweatsuits, like that casual gear, and they're dressing a little bit more polished, a little bit more mature, and they're presenting themselves in this way. And I just commend these young brothers for doing this, and I just hope that you can encourage more young boys and men to join in on this. Now, I don't want to call it a trend because you know how trends are, they come and go. So I'm hoping that this is something lasting, and it's such a positive thing. And it's not just about changing the way they dress. It's more about adapting a different mindset and how they're presenting themselves. So I think this is great. This is wonderful. I love this because when you present yourself a certain way, people will treat you better. You'll be more received in a more positive way. Because if you think about, if you see someone, he's wearing a hoodie, he's sagging, then you see someone who has on a quarter zip and their pants are not hanging down, who do you think is going to be received better? Who do you think? Because, and the thing about it is, now the one that's wearing a hoodie and sagging, he may not be up to no good. He may be a great child, a great person, but to strangers out in the street, they don't know that. They don't know your sons. They don't know your nephews, your brothers. They don't know. So they're just going to take one look at that person and assume the worst. That's just how it is. It's sad to say, but that is just how it is. That people will judge you by how you look, how you're dressed, and they don't know you. So therefore, they don't know that you're a good kid, that you make good grades in school, you're involved in activities after school. They don't know that. But if you just switch up something that you're wearing, people will receive you. They won't be as afraid or scared of you if they see you, coming towards them and there's no one else around. They're not going to be clutching their pocketbook like. So that's all I'm saying. So again, I commend these young brothers for doing this. And to the people that's down in them, you know, y'all go sit down somewhere, because if it was something ratchet and negative, y'all would be all over it. Like, yeah, do that. But because it's something positive, some people have a problem with it. But y'all just go sit down. I don't want to hear from y'all right now, okay? So again, commendable. Keep it up. Please get some more young men and boys involved in this. So now we're going to move over to women's sports. Now, anybody that knows me, you know that I'm not a sports fanatic by any means, but I will say that I do love basketball. Now, I mainly watch men's basketball, but there are some good women players, okay, that play the game and they're in the WNBA. And I think that if they had more ticket sales, that their salaries would be bigger. They would have better accommodations when they're, on the road traveling and things like that. So I think we need to get their ticket sales up. That would help a lot. Now, I just want to highlight some of the players in the WNBA. And of course, we all know about the Angel Reeses, the Caitlin Clarks, and all the former WNBA players. But for this episode, I just want to just highlight a few. Well, I'm going to highlight one right now. Her name is Chelsea Gray, and right now she's on the LA Aces. And let's see, so she was first drafted to the WNBA in 2014, and she was on the Connecticut Sun. And she was drafted, she was the 11th pick in the draft. And then from that team, she went on to the LA Sparks. And so again, she's currently with the LA Aces. And so in 2022, she was the MVP in the finals. Okay, so that's a great accolade. And then let's see, she won her first championship back in 2016, right? And then also, she was the first Duke women's player to play on the U.S. Olympic team in 2018, and she won a gold medal in 2021 with the U.S. women's team. Now that's pretty good if you ask me. That is pretty good. She's doing well for herself. And if you find her interesting, you want to learn some more about her, then you can look her up and, let me know what you think. But I'm going to be back again on the next episode of bonus bulletins on women's sports, and I'm going to highlight another player. So if there's someone that you think needs their accolades and their flowers, and you think they don't get the praise and credit they deserve, leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know. Who would you like to know about? Who would you like to see highlighted and, given their flowers? So these ladies, they work hard, and they should get their proper due as well, just like anyone else. So, y'all, I want to thank you for listening to episode 38. This is your bonus bulletins. And if you like this episode, please leave a like, share, leave a comment. And if there's something that you would like to hear about, let me know in the comments about that too. So again, I hope you enjoy, and until next time, stay well and be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the IBL podcast. You can hear this and all episodes on the Podbean app, YouTube, and Spotify. Until next time, stay well and be blessed.